How do all-you-can-eat buffets make money? Let's talk about it, but first hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you stay educated on how your money works. Every so often, we read about people getting banned from all-you-can-eat buffets for eating too much. Many of us can recall the signs of gluttony we witness at a buffet ourselves: plates after heaping plates of food taken back to the table, a stack of half-full plates left behind, and the sweaty glazed look of someone who has eaten far more than they should have, combined with unrestrained gorging by customers with moderate prices, and the fact that a typical restaurant has a very thin profit margin of 3%. So how are all-you-can-eat buffet restaurants able to survive, let alone make a profit? And first, this is not about the lavish all-you-can-eat buffets in Las Vegas. In an effort to outdo each other, many Vegas casinos offer over-the-top options like overflowing displays of caviar, unlimited cocktails, Wagyu steak cuts by an in-house butcher, and crab legs flown in daily from Alaska. Vegas casino buffets even have exotic names. The buffet in Caesar's Palace is known as Bacchanal Buffet. But the truth is that most all-you-can-eat Vegas casino buffets lose money and would go bankrupt as standalone operations. Their mission is to draw people into the casinos. Any loss incurred on the buffet is easily recovered by the gambling that ensues after the feasting, and then some. The question is more about all-you-can-eat buffet restaurants dotted across small and large American cities that not only survive the onslaught of seemingly ravenous patrons, but actually thrive year after year, enjoying healthy profit margins in the process. For example, Houston alone has 182 all-you-can-eat buffets, and many of them have been in business for decades. So let's talk about the all-you-can-eat buffet metric. At its crudest level, the all-you-can-eat buffet restaurant manager's primary job is simply to fill the customer's belly as cheaply and as quickly as possible. But in order to satisfy customers and bring them back, buffet managers must also do other things. They must create the perception of providing ample variety and high-quality food items. At the same time, they must manipulate customers' choices and portion sizes and ensure that food waste is minimized. So let's look at how these things are done. First, flexible menu design. Any successful restaurant keeps its food and beverage costs at or below 30% of its revenues. Believe it or not, buffets are able to do this quite easily. Compared with other restaurants that have fixed menus, a buffet is more flexible. It can change its menu every day based on what is cheap and available, and often does. Next, cheap veggies and meats. The buffet menu is built around ingredients and foods that are available cheaply. Vegetables and cheaper cuts of meat when purchased in bulk are surprisingly affordable. For example, a 50-pound bag of potatoes costs about $6 from a wholesaler, and a 50-pound sack of carrots costs about $9. 50 pounds is a lot of food. Such ingredients can not only be turned into healthy dishes, but they can go a long way towards stuffing customers' bellies. Where meat is concerned, cheaper fish, tilapia instead of salmon, and cheaper cuts of meat are used. Then there's also seasonal ingredients. To increase food quality, seasonal items are added to the buffet menu. For example, fresh tomato dishes and crawfish entrees are significantly cheaper to offer during spring and make customers feel they are getting high-quality dishes without the corresponding expense. Squash and pumpkin-based dishes work the same way in fall. If the price of some staples such as pork or beef goes down drastically, more dishes using it are offered. And when it shoots up, the pricey items is taken off the menu and substituted with something cheaper. So then let's talk about portion size and influencing choice. Once the menu is built up, the manager's next task is to influence which foods customers put on their plates and how much they take. While food scientists have made an industry of studying different ways of controlling people's portion size, buffet restaurant owners have been practicing many of these ideas for decades. Instead of consumers trying to control their own mindless eating, it's the buffet manager who's interested in curbing their mindless eating or directing it towards cheaper items. Go to any Chinese or Indian buffet and see what I mean. These are some of the ways they influence food choices and control the portion sizes of their customers. 1. Full-size dinner plates or oversized soup bowls are rare. Instead, half-size plates and smaller bowls are provided, naturally limiting how much food can be taken during one trip down the buffet line. Added this constraint is the fact that using smaller tableware naturally leads to lower consumption. Next, water and soft drink glasses are huge. Water doesn't cost anything, and soft drinks cost very little, and they have monstrous markups. Providing giant soft drink glasses has the dual benefit of helping upsell soft drinks and filling customers' bellies. Many buffets offer a change of silverware, forks, knives, spoons, only grudgingly, implicitly reducing the number of courses people will consume. In contrast, chopsticks in Chinese buffets are readily available because they slow down the rate of eating. Then there's starches and vegetables. Many buffet lines are dominated by relatively cheap starches and vegetables, while proteins and sweets are limited in number. cleverly, more expensive foods are served in smaller pieces or sizes. For instance, a serving of fish may be cut into 3 or 4 pieces. And then food choices are presented strategically. A relatively expensive protein, say a platter of steak, will be surrounded by 4 or 5 cheaper vegetable side dishes, and pricier desserts like pies will be surrounded by platters of fruit. Studies show that when such choices are offered, people tend to pick and consume more vegetables. The steak, pork, and fish platters are sparsely filled, while potatoes and rice trays are huge and filled to the brim. And then there's the reality that not all buffet goers overeat or are price sensitive. In a buffet, most people eat the same way they do elsewhere. A painstaking observational study of 213 patrons at a Chinese buffet found that estimated body mass index (BMI) of patrons was strongly predictive of their eating habits. Compared to those in the highest BMI, top third, those in the lowest ones were more than twice as likely to browse the buffet first, almost 3 times as likely to use chopsticks rather than a fork, and chew more times. Interestingly, all patrons left relatively little uneaten food on their plate, less than 10% of what they had served themselves. Another study manipulated the price of an all-you-can-eat Italian buffet and found that when it was priced at $4 instead of $8, customers rated their first piece of pizza as less tasty, less satisfactory, and less enjoyable, and showed a negative trend in enjoyment. Clearly, getting a good deal was not of primary importance for these buffet goers. All this is good news for buffet owners. It suggests that not all customers are going to overeat, and relatively few people waste a lot of food. Having large parties of customers, co-worker groups at lunch, or families for dinner rather ensures that even if some people in the party overeat, they're balanced by others who undereat and maintain the all-you-can-eat buffet's profit margin. Holding the food items in the buffet constant, higher prices may actually make their experience more positive and keep them coming back. So what are your thoughts? After the pandemic, will you be eating buffets? Leave a comment down below and let's get a discussion started. And as always, take care of your money.